When I, Arya Misri from FIPI PDEU Student Chapter, welcome you all to the C2C podcast, where we bring insights from industrial professionals to help bridge the gap between campus and corporate life. Our guest for today is Mr. Kripal Patel, a proud PDU alumnus from the batch of 2021, currently working as an engineer in production surveillance and allocation at Shell India. Once again, as the host and on behalf of FIPI PDU, a very warm welcome to you, sir, and to all the listeners tuning in. Today's conversation will focus on your diverse internships, your journey into production surveillance, and digital transition in the energy sector. So let's begin. So let's start our podcast with the most important questions, and our professors love asking us this question: why petroleum engineering?
Maybe a very tough question as well. Even still, if I remember correctly, all of the team member currently we are in, all the people still asking the same question, like why do we choose the petroleum engineer? And still, I think because it's different from other branches, and yes, that is because whenever you like work in oil and gas industry, you can uh, you can literally say that why petroleum is more important than chemical, mechanical. Definitely, those all the branches are very much important. But if you talk about petroleum, you start from your reservoir to drilling to production. Even you also work on like facility and topside. So yeah, you get varieties of broad area to work on. But second, like all the thing has pros and cons. Thus, like cons would be you have very specific area to work. So like for the petroleum engineer, you need to just work for oil and gas industry. So yeah, and why I have choose a petroleum engineer? Because if I remember my like I used to do go to the tuition for J, and one of my like sir told me that this is a unique branch and you can learn too many things and you can make money. So yeah, you are getting like for as a petroleum engineer you can do like lot you can make a lot money. So yep, and still
Yeah.
with the current crude oil price, it's still true. I'm seeing the lot example in the current industry. People are making like exponential amount of money in growth. So yeah.
We agree to that. So, moving to the questions. So, to start off, can you walk us through your transition from being a student at PDU to stepping into your corporate role at Shell? What did that shift feel like?
Uh, so first thing, it was a good learning. So before coming to the corporate side, it was all about like juggling about how we get the placement to a good companies. So that is where the first you change your mindset that what companies you are looking for. It's not like these are the company visiting to our campus. Even like I had like many broad pictures like what if like let's say if I'm not getting Shell interview correct, so what are the other options? So from there only you start your corporate journey, I would say, because how you set your mindset, it's the most important compared to directly coming to the corporate uh, world. I still remember like because I joined during the COVID. I still remember I started my like corporate world in from my home. So it's very different thing. Like then after some time we get a chance to meet each and everyone face to face. But coming to your question, it's about how you set your mindset from I would say from your third or fourth year of your college. Uh, so that's basically first point of starting your corporate journey.
Thank you, sir, for your perspective on this. So, you were heavily involved with our very own FIPA PDU student chapter, eventually serving as the vice president for the year 2020 and 21. I think. How did you ma- how did managing those leadership responsibilities shape your professional mindset?
Yeah, that's a very good question as well because I remember during my college days, on my first year as well, like our senior used to visit our classroom, like all the placed student used to visit our classroom. Even I remember by name as well from the FIPI student chapter. Uh, Virat Patel, like he is currently serving in ONGC currently, and with that another guy was also there. He is currently serving in ExxonMobil. So uh, that is where like I choose FIPI, and then I started learning a good things. Especially like I start with as a logistic coordinator. So during my second year and second and third year, we used to attend all the other student chapter as well, like SP, SAG during the college, and then that basically when I learned my what should we bring new things to FIPI, and then that is how we shape as well. And talking about the vice president, like we like don't remember what was the techno-altar, but that was 3.0 or 4.0. That is what we organized, and it was like best during that time. But talking about the skills that I have built, the first is the communication, how you talk with your stakeholder. Like there, your stakeholder would be whom you are talking for the guest lecture, how you approach for the any corporate relation or like let's say for any sponsorship. So that is how you build your confidence through the communication. Second thing is leadership. Uh, Basically during our second year, like my second year, our senior used to like taught too many things apart from the our professors. I would say they taught me like too many things for outside education. So that's definitely helped during your corporate world, because here you get lot many challenges day to day, because like currently even I currently we're also facing lot many issues with our current production. But how do you challenge and to your leadership as well? Like how do you challenge that this is not the right way? You should approach this way. How do you convince them? That is how I learned during my FIPI, uh, like during my FIPI student chapter time. So yeah, that's definitely help you, and that going to help you guys as well when you will be in oil and gas industry.
That gives us a lot to think about. Past guests have frequently debated the importance of academic metrics. Considering you graduated with a highly impressive 9.12 CPI, how did you balance maintaining such top grades with your extracurricular leaderships?
Uh, it's tough question, but it's like an engineering thing only again. Because like we have heard too many things. Engineers always studied on the last day before the exam. That is what I did. So yeah, nothing much to say. How I manage, I always prioritize education definitely, but also I've given equal importance to FIPI, all the FIPI activities as well, because Anjan Chatrala, he was president during our time when I was in third year. He used to call me, "Kripal, we need this thing to be done," as a like logistic coordinator. Like I used to go each and manage everything from administration side to professor side, like to manage it. So yeah, we have managed, but like education also plays a very critical point here. So as an engineer, we can make it not an issue. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Coming to the next question, you completed a summer internship in the subsurface team at ONGC. Can you share a critical learning moment from that specific upstream experience that helped to build your core foundation?
Yes. So I would say that is like during my second year, we used to like dream about oil field, because professor taught us that this is how the well looks like, this is how your top side look like, this is how like your BOP and everything is look like. But we have not seen anywhere. When I done my internship at ONGC subsurface team, uh, so we have done couple of things in field as well. Let's say how you get your well test done, So we used to go to field. Then all the operator used to put their pressure sensor devices inside the well, uh, at each and every depth level. They will go by a fixed sequence, like 50 feet, 100 feet, 150 feet, and each and every point they used to measure the pressure. So that is what we learned as well in our classroom. That is what we saw during internship. Apart from that as well, field experience, they also taught us how the field production forecasting helps you to uh, like improvise your current production. So during our classroom session, in ONGC, they used to taught us that how you can just basic idea that what all the parameters you can make sure each and every day. So yeah, but I would say that's totally different than compared to during the internship and compared to when you work actually on that particular concept. It's a lot many different things, because there you just learning. Here you are responsible person, you are responsible to get more production. So yeah, that small part definitely play a key importance during your uh, actual role.
I'm sure the audience learned a lot about from that. Moving to the midstream and downstream side, you also interned with the PNG, Pipe Natural Gas team at Sabarmati Gas Limited. How did this broaden your understandings of the energy sector?
Yes, so like when I completed my first internship in upstream, in during our curriculum, we they also taught us midstream as well as the downstream. So I had a little bit like I had a little bit you can say a comfort zone. I would say that let's say if I'm not getting an upstream job, then what next? So better to have one, because during the college, people like our senior used to say that do not make your field just in upstream or just a downstream, make a variety of things. So during, let's say, your placement season, varieties of company might visit, so you might get some better advantage compared to other people. So that's a pure reason that I have done the internship in Sabarmati as well as towards a midstream segment. What I have learned is like how the business works, like how the downstream business works. Definitely, that helps me a lot, because whatever we are producing from the upstream side, that goes to the downstream area. Like whether it's your transportation, whether it's your CGD sector, whether it's making that gas to LNG and then transport to regasification terminal, how you store that LNG as well. That is what we learned during our internship, like analysis of the storage tank design, LNG side. So yeah, that 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 played a good role, but not using that skills in my current upstream sector. So but yeah, still that gives you a broader idea of how the business works, because end of the day, it's all about money. How you can make money to the company or that business, that matters. So
So, when you started out in Shell, how was the experience? Did the theories and practicals you learned in the class help you out with your job, with your task at job? You have had exposure to AI and machine learning projects during your academic year, and now you're seeing the industry firsthand. With AI and automation becoming increasingly important across the energy sector, how did you see this technology shaping the future of the industries? Elaborating on that question, have they already changed the way you approach your day-to-day work, or where do you think this trend is heading?
maybe a most interesting question as well in current scenario with the AI, Claude, ChatGPT, and everything. So first thing, first I want to discuss about whether our whatever we have learned during our classroom session, whether it's really we are using it uh, during our current role. Yes. So probably I can start with drilling production as well. So like professor used to taught us like how you will complete this well, whether it's like open case completion or whether it's closed case completion, whether we want cementing or not, whether we put gravel pack at the bottom hole or not. This definitely help us currently during my current role to understand how my well is currently producing. Let's say I would say my well has lot many sand production. How I will measure that sand as well? We will have a sand detector on the top of the well. How I will monitor that as well on my day to day. So that all the parameter definitely helping us during my current role. If you remember, like we used to also learn about production graph, your IPR. So still we are currently using in our day to day as a production engineer role, how you can optimize your well production. So we currently we are also like measuring everything. Second parameter during the production lecture, I remember uh, Namrata ma'am used to taught us like shrink factor and the flash factor. Let's say your oil is currently at the reservoir condition when you are producing. It's come to the wellhead and then it's come to your separator and then to the export line. How oil will behave on like how oil will behave at each and every stage and what will be the volume. So that's shrink factor and the flash factor concept. Like we used to like Namrata man used to told us that this is very important, but like we used to ignore like it's very small concept how it will impact in our day-to-day activities. But currently day-to-day we that is what we are tracking. We are optimizing. We are modeling that shrink and flash as well for all of our current asset. How we can validate that as well, that is also we are doing. So yes, that your classroom learning definitely help you will help you during your uh, oil and gas role. Coming to current industry scenario, what's happening is due to the AI boom, each and every company, I would say, has that pressure. You have to automate this. So we have done it, and it helping us a lot because let's say we might have 400 or 500 wells of data. How you can make it visualize? Like earlier, we used to do, let's say, in Excel. Now we have varieties of tool, and even with the AI, it can do with a minute. So whenever you log in, you can just create a agent that I need a surveillance of all the wells, what happened over the last day. Give me a brief summary. AI will give you like before you log in, AI will give you all the summary, and that is how you can start your day, and you can prioritize what are the well is not working, like what was not working correct yesterday, and you can just focus on that area. So yes, that is how you can work as well with the AI.
That was seriously very informative. One standout detail from your academics is your project on using a machine learning and AI approach to estimate geomechanical parameters from rock samples. What inspired you to merge AI with the core petroleum geology?
Okay. So if I remember correctly, that was the period that machine learning and the neural network, those are all the buzzing word during my fourth year period. So like I had like good like my friends, that is how we have take the decision, let's do something with this buzzing word with petroleum industry. So we just pitched this idea with the professor, and they were ready. Like Brahma sir was there during that time, and he was ready, and they were had some idea as well how we can use the petroleum knowledge with the machine learning. And they have like taught us like how what are the what can we do. So the first they have provided us the problem statement, and then we have worked on that one, and that is what, like I would say, professor, that is what they have really inspired us, and they have helped us to create that project. So yeah.
So thank you, sir, for your insight. Moving to your corporate career. You currently work in production surveillance and allocation. For our listeners, what exactly does a production surveillance engineer do on a day-to-day basis?
Okay, so I am currently working as a production surveillance engineer. So my role is kind of remote role. I currently supporting all the cell asset that are is in Gulf of Mexico, in offshore platforms. So we had like around varieties of platforms there. Let's say your TLP, semi-submersible. You have we have FPSO. So we have varieties of platform in Gulf of America offshore side. So my role is to make sure my oil is coming from wellhead to the flow line to the platform on the top side. It's processing each and every stage correctly. Whether we have any issue with the processing, that is also we need to monitor. Whether we have any issue with the metering as well. You might have varieties of issue with the meter. Let's say you have a gas carry under. If you're not optimizing your separator correctly, your gas might also flow through the liquid line. So those all the activities, that is what we monitor. Then it's come to your compressor stage as well as for the oil to the your pre-auto knockout and then storing to the tank and exporting to the pipeline. So this whole process, that is what my day-to-day activities look like. I'm monitoring crude oil production from start of the well to the sales point.
Okay, that gives us a great perspective. Your profile mentions you perform daily surveillance for offshore assets covering over 25 wells. How do you handle the pressure of continuously monitoring such a massive volume of rates and pressures?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, so we have like Pi Vision screen. It's also similar tool like Excel and Power BI. You can monitor like continuous measure. It's a continuous measurement. So let's say we might have a well MPFM multi-phase flow meter on the well that continuously measure oil and gas rate at the wellhead. Then it's come to a separator. Separator also have a varieties of meters on it. Let's say from gas side you have a gas rate, and then from the oil side you have a oil rate, and from the water side you might have a water rate. So that is what we measure. How we make sure that actually total volume is, so currently the total volume is very large. How we make sure it's we are not missing a single parameters. It's making sure that what could be your culprit well and what are your good wells. That is how we identify. So we put some more efforts on all the bad actors that we have on the bad wells. So yeah, that is what how we identify, and we put some less if efforts on our good wells. So yeah.
Thank you, sir. You heavily utilize software called energy components or EC to validate well tests. How crucial is this software for modern production engineers?
Okay, so talking about the energy component, it's basically used for the allocation side compared to production engineer role. So basically, all the allocator and production allocation engineer, they use energy component. So as I told, all the data we have, let's say over 25 well production data, your separator data, your fuel, like asset will have your fuel, flare, vent, your export line, your current flow line from wells to separator, separator to all the compressor, and then coming to your tanks. So all this data kind of comes to energy component, and that is what makes the crucial as well, because all the field is not owned by, let's say, one company. It might own by varieties of companies. So why energy component is very crucial, because what we feed into energy component is, that is output you will get from it, and that will be basically your production allocation to each and every partners that goes to revenue, and that is how all the partner makes the money. So that is why it's maybe a very crucial part for any company.
So that definitely highlights the scale of the work. You are responsible for maintaining greater than 99% of data accuracy across allocation inputs. How do you ensure such high quality data reliability without getting overwhelmed?
Okay. So for that, basically we had varieties of check before anything goes to your system. Uh, all the system might have a subsystem that have, let's say, you have some outliers It will basically remove your outliers before going to your main system. So that is what we checked as well. Apart from that one, talking about the outliers, that basically system is making sure that we do not have any outliers. Apart from the main critical parameter, that is what we check for the allocation side, is your shrink factor, flash factor, and its modeling, whether that is done correctly or not. Let's say you are operating at some particular condition. I would say, let's say it's IP condition, but you have tested or your result shows that data is at LLP condition, or let's say at low pressure condition. So the two parameter doesn't make much sense. So that is what we need to make sure, that whatever input parameter we give to energy component, that is correct. Then comes to your the well test. We in oil and gas industry, we do a varieties of well test. Special if we talk about offshore platform, we have MPFM based well test, we have physical well test, we have nodal well test. So we also need to make sure that each and every well test had the correct accuracy, and we have frequency as well of the well test. It should have done on fixed frequency. So that is also we monitor. Uh, so yeah, and the last point is output. So whether based on all the input parameters, whether my output is satisfied, based on the all the input parameter, my output is on with uh, correct nodes or not. That is what also we make sure with our existing KPI. So yeah.
Thank you, sir. Coming to the next question. A part of your job involves resolving daily and monthly data inconsistencies. How important is problem solving when dealing with these complex production discrepancies?
Yes, so maybe I just wanted to give you guys why your daily and monthly numbers will matter. So let's say uh, currently what happening in current political scenarios, your crude oil price are very much fluctuating. Today, let's say your price is around 87 or something, but tomorrow morning if you wake up, it might be 95 or 96. So how your daily allocation will impact is crude oil is traded on the daily basis. It's just a commodity. So like your share market, or if you talk about commodity like gold and silver, it trade on the daily basis. So whatever we produced, any company, whatever Shell or Exxon or Chevron, any company produced, they have to trade, or they should trade on, they are trading on the daily basis. Let's say I am producing today 1,000 barrels. So we might have some commitment. I'm giving to this refinery by this prices, and we have to fulfill that commitment. So that is where the daily data comes in the picture. Let's say if we are sort of that commitment, then either we have to buy it or from the market, and that market price depends on the current price. So that is where the main daily allocation impact. And all the daily allocation, let's say if we talk about a month, all the daily allocation will come to a month end, and then that monthly allocation goes to your revenue calculation, your finance calculation. So that is where the monthly allocation comes in picture.
That's a great point. You have also performed measurement surveillance to identify issues with test separated meters. How different is analyzing these tools in the real world compared to studying them in our university labs?
Yeah, so that's totally different thing, because if I remember, like all during our production classes, we have just learned that this is how this method work. We have never seen, we have never went into the detail that what could it goes wrong. Let's say your meter might have stopped reading. Uh, During that time, some valve might have leaked. So what could be the uh, consequences for that scenario? So we never seen that during our classroom. But when you work in the current, like when you actually work during that scenario, you might have a electrical failure, you might have an instrumentation failure, you might have some leaking during that time. So if you are not accurately measuring your well test as well, it directly impact your allocation side, because let's say well is actually producing 1500 barrels per day, but during these issues you are just measuring around 1200. So you might have that 300 discrepancy, uh, and you might not accurately allocate to all the partners uh, below the field. So yeah.
Thank you for your valuable insight. Alongside oil and gas, you analyze water injection trends and support performance technique trackings. Why is monitoring water injection so critical for the overall health of an offshore asset?
Yep. So this is basically your material balance. Let's assume that you have a big reservoir and you have a good support of base support of water. So let's say you're producing from this two side, and I'm injecting water in this side. So that will basically push all the oil towards your producing wells, and that is where comes to your like checking each and every day whether you're making that much of water injection to your reservoir, it's true or not, because all that data fits into your reservoir model, and reservoir model will predict your oil recovery. So that is where it's play a critical role.
Building on that, when recruiters looked at your resume, how did you effectively highlight your AI project alongside your core ONGC and Sabarmati gas internships?
Eh, it's can you repeat your question? Just it it, it was like,
Yeah, sure, sure.
yeah.
Building on that, when recruiters looked at your resume, how did you effectively highlight your AI project alongside your core ONGC and Sabarmati gas internships?
Yes, definitely it really helps, because let's say in day-to-day activity you can do too many things with small projects, because let's say I am reviewing my deferment downtime, and I can just ask to AI. If you build the AI agent, we can just ask to AI uh, what could be my coding, or what could be my downtime for this scenario. So AI agent will basically use my previous data, previous database to analyze what happened in this scenario previously. So it will give you the output accordingly. So basically, it will reduce your efforts from searching each and everything, putting your brain, checking each and every previous data. Let's say it might take 2 hours, it will reduce to, let's say, 5 minutes. So that's the main advantage of that.
Just a minute. Thank you for that much information. So, every professional journey comes with a steep learning curve. Could you share a specific moment of uncertainty you faced early in your corporate career and how you managed it?
Maybe a tough question in this current scenario, because I'm not sure. In private sector, if I say, you have to be top of everyone. If you are like lagging, then you will be thrown away. So, and how you will make sure that you are top of everyone is by making sure you are growing each and every day, and that will come through the learnings. So I have faced lot many that scenario in my past, in my current 5 years journey in current company. That could be anything. Let's say I'm not performing on my top of uh, like target. Second, I'm making too many mistakes, because because of that, I'm getting some bad results as well from the production side, and from the leadership as well. So and apart from that as well, you might have seen some I've seen some situation as well, that comes to your job as well, like you might lose the job as well in that scenario. So how I make sure that this all the in this all the scenario, I I have to come from the scenario. So for that, first thing is your confidence. Second is the learning, day-to-day learning. That will definitely help. And this and third point is upskill your knowledge in the digital side. So yeah, these three things will definitely uh, bring you from this scenario to a new person. I bet you on that.
Uh, so one most thing for our listeners would love to hear about is GATE. And according to you, what would be the best path for the students to take if they want to pursue academic path after college?
Uh, okay, about the gate exam, correct? That is what you said. Can you also, because I'm not able to hear you. Can you say? It's about the gate exam.
Yes, it's about GATE.
Okay, yeah. Uh, yes, it was playing a very much important role when we were in college and when we were graduating. But now, if you look at the current market scenario, if you want to go, but after like qualifying the PE gate, and if you wanted to go towards and like uh, all the ONGC and Oil India, it's very tough now. It's just gate will just you make sure that you take admission to the masters, petroleum masters or any other masters. To now to go towards oil ONGC or all the PSU company, they have bring a new exam system that's a CBT based exam. So I say that you should focus on the gate exam, because if you focus on the gate exam, you will definitely you can make easily in the CBT exam by each and every company. So yeah, if you make like full efforts to gate exam, it will be very much equivalent to all the CBT exam that are taken by all the PSU company. So yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. So, okay, sir, before we wrap up, how about a rapid fire round?
Sure.
Okay, so onshore or offshore?
Offshore.
Sure. Drilling or reservoir engineering?
Production engineering, but in this scenario, reservoir engineering.
Uh, oil or gas?
Oil, because you will make most of the money from oil. Gas, no one will care.
Uh, yeah, yeah. Rig life or office life?
Office life compared to rig life.
Coffee or energy during a deadline?
Can you repeat it?
Coffee or energy drinks during a deadline?
Coffee.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, coffee.
Okay, the toughest part petroleum engineering, one word.
Sorry, again you are breaking. Toughest part of petroleum engineering.
In one engineering in one word.
Okay, toughest part of petroleum engineering in one word. Correct.
Yes.
Okay, how you will bring whatever left in your reservoir to the top side or to the onshore. How you will recover your crude oil. That's a tough.
So I was telling you that the toughest part in one word could be like long data.
Toughest part. Uh, how you will no optimization. Toughest part.
Well,
Yes. Optimization
okay,
of well. Yeah.
one technology that will change the oil and gas industry.
Definitely AI.
AI.
Yep.
Yes. One advice you would give every petroleum engineering student.
Just make sure you know each and every each and every detail of your petroleum engineering concept and using your AI and all the digital tool. But you should know each and every basic concept of petroleum engineering. Yeah, because that will definitely deliver to your good result of your professional growth.
If you could work at any oil field in the world, which one would it be?
Any oil field, definitely in Gulf of America, because that is where I've been through as well. I visited offshore platform in Gulf of America. It was fantastic. Maybe one of the
That's
best
great.
in world currently.
Describe petroleum engineering in 3 words.
Describe petroleum engineering 3 words: reservoir drilling production. That's all about
Great
the
answer.
petroleum engineering.
Uh, so that's a wonderful note to end on. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your journey and experiences with us today. I'm sure our listeners, especially students, will take away a lot of practical insight regarding production surveillance, data integration, and continuous upscaling. Once again, sir, thank you for tuning in. It's been an absolute pleasure hosting you. Thank you.
Thank you as well from for all of organizers as well, because it was not possible without you guys. So yep, and it was great to talk to you all.
Thank you so much, sir.